come and has come and has gone to an end with so many stories. We also have the exploit of the English clubs in Europe. And then we have so many things happening in the world of football. The World Cup is coming. But today we want to talk about the English Premiership and the clubs, their exploits in Europe. And we're going to talk about Arsenal, how they are able to do it, and the expectation for uh, their game against PSG, the Champions League game on Saturday. So there are many perspectives to this, and we have our fans who are also the analysts. They are going to be bringing their different perspective, and they are going to be talking the way they feel. So this in on this show, nobody is safe because it is fans tackle. People tackle one another the way they want, and there is no referee, no officiating, and yeah, it's not going to be blood. It's not going to be bloody. I can assure you. So, if you are ready, I am ready. My name is James Akela, and I have my guests to talk to us today. I have Martins, Joel, and King Priest. So, I'm going to be joined by these guys to give us their perspective on different things. First of all, I'm going to be asking them about their opinion about the English Premiership clubs and the exploits in Europe. Today, Crystal Palace just defeated Rayo Vallecano to lift the Conference Cup. The other day, Aston Villa made it, and Arsenal is on the verge of history to lead the UEFA Champions League. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? We'll get to that. But first of all, I want to let these guys introduce themselves to us. And as we get tackled on this show today. So, first of all, hello guys, can you unmute yourself?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
So, okay, Martins, King Priest, what's up? Can you tell us
Hello,
which?
I'm here.
Yeah, yeah.
Good
Yeah, I can
evening,
hear you.
Yes, can you tell us which club you are for, and then what to expect from you today?
All right. I, su- I currently support Manchester United, and I'm expecting to tackle Arsenal fans real bad today.
Okay, Arsenal fan, get ready to be tackled. King Prince, just mark his face. Don't let him be safe if he tackles you roughly. I think you guys should actually snap back. So you can leave us a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel as we bring different members of the audience or the fans to tackle one another. You too can be here, so it is not restricted. So now let me go to Martins, the Arsenal fan. I hope you are not going to leave with your head bleeding, from the different tackles, that you're going to receive from these detractors today. Martins,
Basically,
welcome
you
to the
know
show.
that I'm a fighter. I'm a bloody supporter of Arsenal. I'm not one to chicken out. Uh, and it's never happened. I don't think I've ever lost an argument about Arsenal because I stick to facts. And when we talk about other teams, I engaged some other persons online and offline to discuss Arsenal's season and, of course, the general performance metrics that have been unfair across the clubs in the Premier League. It would seem like we have different standards preserved for different teams. Arsenal suffers a lot from scrutiny that is that is so much uneven compared to other teams. We're talking about how possibly recently the coach and Slot, Liverpool coach and Slot, who recently joined after Jurgen Klopp departed Liverpool. He picked up a team that wasn't even uh, built in his own identity. He came, he won the Premier League accidentally, and he finished fifth or sixth, I'm not sure, the league position. And that is something really uh, bad. Imagine that was Arsenal. Every club, every club, including Manchester City and Man United, would roast Arsenal. But
Okay,
this club
we'll come to
finished
we'll
finished
come to
fifth, or
we'll
it
come
could
to
not.
the issue of Arsenal. We'll come
And
to
Slot
Arsenal.
could
Just
not defend
calm
the
down, calm
EPL,
down.
and
Martins,
that is terrible, basically.
Martins, calm down. We are going to come to Arsenal issue, but I want us to discuss the English clubs and their exploits in Europe. The dominance has been there,
Right.
and then we've been seeing it. Of course,
Yeah.
Arsenal is going to be the topic that we're going to really spend much time with. But I want to
Mm.
give Joel the time to also say hello to us and tell us what to expect today. Joel, what's up?
Oh, we can hear Joel.
Oh,
Joel is moving his mouth. We can't hear him. Please unmute.
okay. I'm gonna say, Joel, go
Can you
ahead,
hear me
please.
now?
Unmute. Unmute.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So I'm so excited to be back again on the show, and hello to my fellow guests. As I've been on the show before, as being a Liverpool fan, I'm super excited to tackle Arsenal fans again. And one thing I want to highlight at the beginning of the show is we've lost the impact of shame in our society. Given that Arne Slot came to the Premier League and won the league in his first season, it's shameful because it took Ateta 7, 9, almost 10 years to win his first league. So I think we've lost the impact of shame, and I think Arsenal fans are realizing this.
Uh,
I mean, I've received the first tackle, and I'm going to be tackling both the Manchester United and the Arsenal fans. But I'm excited for tonight. I'm pumped up. I'm gassed, and please let's have it. Thank you.
Okay, you guys, you just heard it. Joel is ready to tackle. And like I told you, nobody is safe. We're going to enjoy ourselves and we're going to hear them tackle. Don't forget again, hit the subscribe button, leave your comment, and don't forget to go on our website, fanstackle.com. We have a challenge going on, and it is for the prediction match between PSG and Arsenal. You may be among the lucky winners. So we get back to the issues. King Priest, now, what do you have to say? Now, you seem to be the most gentle among these three guys, you know, but it's the ground running, man.
Yes.
King Prince, can you hear me? Okay. Go ahead now.
Yeah, I said for EPL teams in Europe this season, it's been surprising, and I think most, for example, Arsenal, Aston Villa, and Crystal Palace have showed that they can uh, they can be really competitive in Europe alongside big clubs like Madrid and the likes. And Aston Villa winning the Europa is 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 awesome. And also Crystal Palace just earlier today. And I think for the final coming of the UCL this Saturday, I I can say Arsenal has been impressive also in the UCL, but I don't buy the opinion that they will be winning the UCL. I'm in total support of PSG.
Okay. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend, King Priest, that's the name,
Definitely, sir.
So, okay. So he feels Arsenal is not going to touch the trophy. Oh, Arsenal, 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 Arsenal. Martins, what is your feedback for that?
Well, I'm used to such opinions. You see, EPL fans basically shift the goalposts every time, and it. I think their hatred is the necessary fuel for Arsenal's success. It's been all season, and one of the reasons Arsenal won the Premier League is the motivation from their hatred. So let him continue. It's fantastic, but when we win on Saturday, it will be doubly interesting. It will be doubly fulfilling. One, it will be a triumph over hate and accomplishment. It will be history. It will be everything. But more importantly, it will be triumph over hate, and that alone is is very sweet. You know that there has been this meme of the bottle passed around for fans to weep into. So probably I'd have to buy some kind of storage tanks for some of the haters, especially King Priest, who just mentioned that he would want PSG to win. So I would give him a very big tank so he can weep and put all his tears there, because apparently if Arsenal uh gets the UCL, it would be tears. It will be a feast of tears for our rival fans, and it will be sweet to me to somewhat watch them cry over the internet. Eh, that's the kind of pain I like to inflict on my on my opponent. The kind of pain.
Dr.
Mute,
James, you are
mute, or
muted, sir.
mute.
You guys, you wait. I will allow you to tackle one another, but I want us to first talk about the English clubs, their exploits in
Okay.
Europe. You know, why do you
Okay.
think they
Yeah.
are succeeding the way they are? So Martins, I go with you.
Yeah. Basically, this is not it is not unconnected to the fact that English Premier League is the most competitive league in the world. I mean, it's I think it's an age-long fact. Only that they haven't been able to prove that for long. Now it is starting to show. That dominance is starting to show. We can see that in the increased competitions for places in the EPL, and that is more about uh, the way people now buy talent. I mean, you can see a team like Bournemouth that has just qualified for Europe. They've got very brilliant players. They lost Hussein Dean, or what's the name of the defender they lost to Real Madrid, and they've got other players from the academy, promoted from the academy, and and they are solid as they've always been. So you think of Crystal Palace, I mean, you think of Oliver Glasner. He's been in charge of that team. Last season they won FA Cup, and this season they've just added the Europa Conference League. I mean, this tells you that teams like these are not to be overlooked. They've been really dominant, and they are just starting to show the sort of quality that the EPL uh, has always boasted about. So I mean, I'm not surprised. If you ask me, I'm not surprised at all. Recall that when Newcastle, Tottenham, and which other team uh, were knocked out of the UCL, UEFA Champions League. The fans from Spanish league mocked EPL, saying, wondering why about three teams just got knocked out. I mean, but the sweet irony, the twist now is that no other league, no other league has produced finalists across European competitions other than the English Premiership. So that alone tells the story. It tells the
Okay,
story of quality, tells the
okay,
story of competition,
that was
and
spot on.
what have you.
So let's Joel take it over from there. Let's hear his perspective. What is happening? Why is the English Premiership dominating? The English Premiership club dominating Europe? What do you think, Joel? Joel, you are muted again. Why are you always muted? But go on.
Um, please confirm if you can hear me.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I don't agree with Martins for a lot of things, on a lot of things, but on this subject, I do agree very well with him. English Premier League is the most competitive league in the world. It has its own standard, and like I always mention, like I always say to my guys, English is like the standard where other leagues actually follow, and it's the competitiveness within the Premier League that makes them to be unable to not to be able to perform as capacity when they go for European competition. I'll give you an instance. Say during the week you're playing, sorry, at the weekend you're playing Bournemouth. You need some level of high level of preparation to face Bournemouth as a liver as a club, given even any club. So you need that level of preparation, and you still need that same capacity to go and face Bayern Munich. So you may be unable to deliver to Bayern Munich because you are facing Dortmund, which is a tough challenge. I'm not equating Bournemouth to Bayern Munich, but you need some level of competitiveness to even be in the Premier League. I'll give you another instance. Sunderland, for example, it just goes to show how competitive the Premier League is. Sunderland coming from relegation and fighting their way into European football this season. That's something that is unheard of. And naturally, we would go to leagues like La Liga, and we know already those who are coming to the Champions League. We go to French league, we know those who are coming. We know go to Bayern, to German Bundesliga, we know those who are coming. We already know who is going in Serie A too. But in the Premier League, there's just that air of unpredictability and that competitiveness, and that's something Martins had earlier touched on. Then, in terms of talent, most of the best talent actually plays in the Premier League, and they also go to explore other leagues, maybe right after their prime and all of that. So, I do want to think the performance of the Premier League clubs this season in Europe is owing to the fact that we are now starting to see how competitive the Premier League is in all regard. And Aston Villa has been so super good. Unai Emery has done a fantastic job. I have to also give it to the tactician in the Premier League under Iraola, Oliver Glasner. And I was just scrolling through X earlier today, and I saw that Crystal Palace had not won anything before that guy came in. He came in and he has given them three fantastic trophy.
Hmm.
It's not something you hear about every time. So I give it to the tactician in the league also, and the talent and how competitive the league is itself. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you totally because you have brought another perspective, the perspective of those quality coaches. But if you also look at those coaches, but before we look at the coaches, let me give King Priest to hear his view before we go to the coaches. Then we look at the quality of the coaches.
All right, I also agree with earlier comments, how that the Premier League is a lot more competitive than other leagues. And I think that prepares them for the knockout method in Europe compared to other leagues that are less competitive, like the EPL, and also about the tactical depth in EPL. But I think what we are not mentioning is also that the EPL has more financial resources to pull talents and to do a lot more and acquire squad depth. And I think that in a way helps them compared to other leagues also. And so I think recently now the the all this put together is starting to bring more results, and we are seeing it on the front stage in Europe.
On mute.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Sorry, don't mind me. I just want you guys to have your time when you were talking. Now let's talk about the quality of the coaches. So you have talked about talent, and then somebody mentioned the coaches, and then that's a very good point. When we look at the coaches, somebody said that most of the coaches that have exploited, I mean, that have uh, done exploits rather in a Premiership, they are mainly from Spain. All right. But if you look at the Spanish league itself, you see four is a like 14 league. If it's not Real Madrid, it will be Barca or Atletico Madrid, or once in a while Valencia, Real Sociedad, or one of the other clubs will just pumping. But in the English Premiership, it has been different. But we owe it to the quality of the coaches. Now, which of these coaches will you think has really, 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 especially in this recently concluded season, which of these coaches will you think has really made the most impact, looking at what they have done, not only in the league, but in Europe so far? Martins.
Okay, yes, I would say um Mikel Arteta has been very impressive. You know why? I want to make my facts somewhat commonsensical so we can understand the context in which I place him. Arsenal, since coming back from oblivion, played their first Champions League game. I mean, played their first European competition under Arteta. I think semi-final they lost out to is it Ajax, or I can't remember the team, or I mean this team from Portugal. Um, I can't remember the team from Portugal. Lost out. That's in Europa Cup semi-final or thereabout, and then they qualified for UCL. The first UCL that Arteta took his team to, and on his first job, he got to the quarterfinals. He played another, got to the semi-final, and another one to the final. It tells you that he is a very good manager, and one that is impressive, because you expect that as a rookie coach, he would probably struggle for probably 5 6 seasons before he starts finding his feet. But he came in and took Europe by storm. That is somewhat impressive. I want to say this because there have been coaches before him who hadn't gone beyond such threshold. And I mean, I'm thinking of Eddie Howe of Newcastle, who started coaching before him. I'm thinking of Una Emery, who started coaching before him. These coaches haven't played in the finals of the Champions League, despite beginning their career before Mikel Arteta, and that tells you that of these coaches, he takes the lead because of the context in which we say, oh, it is his first job, and here he's played for the first time in Arsenal history. Arsenal has qualified for semi-final twice, and who did that? Arteta. So I mean, we cannot overlook that. It would be almost disingenuous to think that it was really easy for anybody to achieve that. I mean, other teams can live. Manchester United must have achieved that, yeah, with a very experienced coach. Chelsea must have achieved that with very experienced coach or coaches, you could say. But Arsenal, under Arteta, we are talking about his first job, and he's doing this. That is magnificent, if you ask me. Can we? I mean, that's all. Others have
Yeah,
done well. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
Unai Emery has done really well, but I
yeah,
give it to Arteta really because
yeah.
of that
That
context.
That's so good. But somebody may say that you're speaking from the perspective of an Arsenal fan, which is well expected. Even on this show, it's about fan, it's about your club. But It's also about
But I have put
being.
a context to it.
But
You know
yeah, it's
what I
about
did? I put a
making it
context to it,
contextual
and
to it. Yeah,
that context that I put to it. I mean, can somebody prove? I need somebody to disprove the context. Now
yeah,
tell me I mean, Unai Emery, he's been in charge of Aston Villa. He played in how many Champions League? Maybe three in the last how
yeah,
many years? Has he got to the
yeah.
final?
And
I
I know
mean,
that Joel is.
let's be
I
very
know
factual.
Joel is roaring to fire. Well, I don't expect every time to be
He cannot
tackled,
fire
you know.
successfully. You know why he
So
cannot fire
so
successfully?
so let's have him.
Let him tell me that
Let's have him.
Let him tell me that Anslot has reached final on two
Just
Okay.
occasions. I
let's
mean,
have
Okay,
him.
let
please
him tell me.
confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I tend to wonder if words maybe over time lose meaning in definitions, because the question was around which coach has had an impressive season. Then I tend to look at what impressive mean, and by going by all the metrics to do something out of the blue, I was expecting something maybe out of the ordinary. I don't expect Arteta name to be mentioned for impressive. I would go with for my own answer. I'll go with Iraola of Bournemouth. He has been super impressive. His style of play, the discipline in his team, how compact they are, how in fact the way they win the ball back, and that reminds me of the beautiful football Jurgen Klopp used to play when he was in Liverpool. I don't expect any mention of Arteta in this conversation at all. So my own will be Iraola. So and I'll tell you why I don't expect Arteta to be in the conversation, because you asked about this season in specifics. Arteta has successfully failed to win the Premier League on multiple occasions, even when he was in pole position, when the Premier League was his to lose. So I think he has been a failure, and he's only super lucky. I want to use that word lucky to win the league this season, because Man City had injuries and they had their own turn. So, in fact, when we look at the word impressive, it means to do something out of the blue. I don't think Martins can mention tactical brilliance of of Arteta, but I mean, bias is okay to be biased. But when we talk about tactical ingenuity, playing big team, outshining, dominating, play football in such a way that makes coaches wonder, oh, what style is this? We are not used to this, and you are bringing this new style of playing to Premier League. I give Iraola for that. I give Iraola that one. Then another thing I wanted to also point out is Unai Emery is fantastic with talent. The kind of talent he assembles in Aston Villa and what he delivers with Aston Villa is outstanding also. Then, as I mentioned earlier, Oliver Glasner also, imagine coming to a club where they have not won title in almost about 100 years of existence, and delivering three titles in 2 seasons for them. I think that's also outstanding. But for me, it's still the Bournemouth coach. He hasn't won anything, but in terms of tactical brilliance, I mean, he has set the foundation, he has done the hard job, and I think it can only get better from here. Thank you.
Okay, all right. That was spot on. Joel, thank you. But I disagree with you on some issues. You know, you want to just bring nearly everything that Ateta has done to a matter of luck. That might be unfair because you can't tell me it's luck.
No. I was waiting to respond to him.
You
No,
know,
I just said,
If you need to
super lucky in
tackle,
quotes, super
listen,
lucky.
please, if you need to tackle somebody, you tackle somebody based on established fact. You don't establish on emotion. You don't discuss this with emotion. I laid bare what Ateta has done above everyone else. I laid it bare. And I did mention first and foremost that Ateta is on his first job in a decrepit Arsenal team.
I think
Do
we
you know
are
what
talking
I mean
about
by
this season.
a decrepit Arsenal team? Wait, a decrepit Arsenal team that was rudderless, completely rudderless. He created a new culture in the club, got Arsenal to three UCL, and the lowest finish was quarter final. And then you are comparing Ateta with Iraola, who is first coming to, who just got into Europa and has not even played the first game. I mean, what more emotion can that be? That is not, you are not tackling me at all. I just feel that we are making very unequal. The argument is asymmetrical, basically. So there's no tackle here, obviously. The
Well,
argument
that
is so asymmetrical. There's no tackle,
well,
I would say.
you is a tackle, whichever way it is.
No, no, no. A tackle
Whether it's
isn't when
whether
it's not asymmetrical.
whether
I
it
mean,
is below the belt or
when
a single one. Don't worry, don't
well, I
worry.
don't consider that a tackle.
Yeah,
I would
you
need him
know.
to tell me.
So
I would need him to impeach the point I have made about Ateta. That is where the
now
tackle
that
is. I am
yeah, okay.
impeaching his now.
Let's
I'm
have
impeaching his now. I anticipated
let
his tackle and I
I
let
think
nullified it.
I think
let's have
Mr. Martin's
King.
bias. I think Mr. Martin's bias is because he's an Arsenal fan.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, Arsenal won the title this season, but I would say Naemery is my favorite tactician because of what he has done with Aston Villa. And Joe made a very solid point out that he has managed great talents, the likes of Oli Watkins. You have Martinez, you have John McGinn. Now, I think when Unai Emery came in 2022, they were formerly coached by Steven Gerrard, and they only had 12 points from 13 games. 12 points from 13 games. That's very, very bad. They were, I think, 13th or 14th in the league as at then. And so from then on, qualifying for Champions League and then giving them an European title in 44 years of drought. That's something. That's something compared to Ateta, who has usually played over the years and just got lucky, like Joel said. Because I think if Man
He
City
used the
was in
word
their
fail.
best form, I'm
He
serious.
used
If
the
Man
word
City was in
fail.
their best form, they still have a chance.
If people are
They
using,
will still
you are
be there
using the
for
word fail in a very funny
Martins,
context. Fail.
I would
Did you
like to
say
also add
fail?
that Aston Villa didn't score a goal in their first four matches this season. And how did Aston Villa end up winning the
seriously.
Europa League? I mean, that's tactical
Wait,
in
wait,
genius.
wait,
I mean,
wait, wait.
it should be
Basically,
knighted. I mean, it should be called Sir
excuse me,
Unai
it
Emery
should
at
not
this
be
point.
knighted. It should not be knighted. It should not be knighted. It is his team. He didn't come into the team, and it was his team that didn't score in 4 games. Excuse me. Listen, there's nothing special about that. It is his team that didn't score. If he came into the team while not scoring 4 goals and he suddenly made them score goals, apparently I will accept that point. That point is very flat. It doesn't hold any water as far as I'm concerned. So let me now tell you. Something. Una Emery is a more experienced coach. He should be playing Champions League final. Ateta is a small boy. So if Ateta, a small boy, is playing his third Champions League, listen, third Champions League, and he's in his final. Please, you cannot. There's nothing you are going to tell me. It will not. It will not make any
I'd
sense to
like
me.
to I'd like to interject,
Except,
Mr.
listen.
Martins, at this
The
point.
thing is, it will not make
Uh,
any sense to me.
okay.
Except you are
Let's
telling
have
me.
Joel. Let's have
Except you are
Joel.
telling me. Except you are telling me
Uh,
that. Do you know
Let's
when
have
it will make sense to me?
let's have
It
Joel.
would make
Let's
sense
have
to
Joel.
me.
Yes, Mr.
Listen,
Martins, I think
Martins,
you
let's have
just
Joel.
called Adeta a small boy. I, I agree with you. I agree with you honestly. And I would like to refer you back to 2012 when Roberto
Oh, I get
brought in
okay.
the second half of the season to manage Chelsea after Chelsea sacked Andre Villas-Boas. Do you know Roberto Martinez went on to win the league? I mean, the Champions League that season. That's 2012. That was his first 6 months. Within his first 6 months of managing,
wait, Roberto
of entering,
Martinez.
of yes,
What 1 minute,
of
please?
entering the
Roberto
Champions League
Martinez. Was it his
with
first job?
Chelsea.
Quickly. Was it his first job?
No, no, no. Please allow me to deliver my point. That
Okay.
was his first Champions League experience. And he was coming from West Brom, where he had just finished 14th the previous season.
Okay.
Chelsea they just needed a caretaker manager who was out of job at that season, and he brought on Roberto Martinez, and he won the Champions League. So I don't think, like I mentioned, like the host has already mentioned, that we need to consider the words impressive. I don't think Arteta has done anything impressive or super ordinary, considering it's his first job. Gerrard won his first league in his first job with is it Rangers, and they went unbeaten almost to the end of the season.
So,
I mean, so you can do
yeah.
anything in your first season on almost anything. Your first job doesn't really matter. It's experience that you've acquired. And given that Arteta is even an industry child, he learned under Pep Guardiola, one of the greatest. I mean, he's just
As an
next
assistant,
after Sir Alex
mention it.
Ferguson.
As an assistant,
Yes, so
not
he
his
has
job.
all the recipe for greatness, and we would be surprised. I'm surprised we didn't see the greatness in the first year, in the second year, in the third year, in the fourth year, in the fifth year, and we are just seeing it now. I
But
mean,
but
I've
but
lost
but
interest,
Joel,
and
Joel,
I'm more
but Joel,
interested in.
greatness is not a matter of uh immediate results. You build it over
Very,
time. Look at Man U. Look at
The,
Man
the
U,
host,
for
please
example.
let me dislodge all his points. I'm curious. Like,
very correct, but
I
I'll
want to
say,
dislodge.
Martins, I'll stop
Please,
right
would
here,
you let
please.
me
Please, I'll
dislodge
stop
all
right.
his points? I want
Please,
I
I'll
want to
stop right here.
dislodge all of them. He hasn't any point
Please, I
whatsoever.
have one more for you to dislodge.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm not expecting greatness from Arteta immediately, but one would expect that, given his learnings and his experience with Pep Guardiola, I feel Arteta should have delivered quality before now. And the coaches we are seeing right now,
Okay.
they almost came from the scratch. Unai Emery with
Okay.
Sevilla, he has done a fantastic job. This is his fourth or fifth Europa uh, win final that he has won, by the way. So I think those two coaches deserve more credit than Arteta. In all honesty, thank you.
Okay. Now listen. I would say that the same Unai Emery took over Arsenal and kept it rudderless. The mess that the brilliant tactician you wax lyrical over, the mess he caused was what Arteta cleaned and polished. You have forgotten that. If we think of an exceptional coach would not need to mess the team. He had the opportunity to take Arsenal to a very good point in his 18 months. Arsenal was going down. Arsenal was 15th or 14th. Was it 15th when Ateta joined? What, 15th? Arsenal was about going on relegation. This is the same tactical genius everybody's talking about. Unai Emery. Ateta cleaned his mess, took Arsenal from nothing to something. Now, let me tell you, he struggled with a lot of bad players. He had lots of bad players he had to dismiss. Do you know? Uh, do you recall what happened? Arsenal sent Ozil out. What's his name? Matthew Guendouzi, and Mesut Ozil. I mean, and then Aubameyang out because they were disruptive. And he built a new culture in Arsenal. All of these things took a lot of time. And he mentioned it. He said it's going to be a process because you don't rebuild a team. Now, please, spare me all of the genius rhetoric of Matthew and some of these guys. They had the material. Ateta didn't have the players to implement his ideas. He had to buy, he had to consciously buy at every transfer market players to implement. So you think that football is AI when you feed in data and you expect automatic response from players. Ateta didn't do this. He built his team gradually from scratch. Please note it. I'm using the word scratch and I'm using it with all manner of conviction. I'm being very compelling in
Okay.
my talk about he building a team from scratch. You cannot say the same thing of the Aston Villa man you mentioned. They were, in fact, there are still many of Steven Gerrard's players in that team. Now I'm not saying that Unai Emery is not a good coach, but tell me, has Unai Emery, he has played in many Champions League, has he got to the final? So what makes him special? It's a question. Let him come and play final. Let him take us Aston Villa to play final. Maybe 2, 3 finals. And then you can begin to, I mean, I would readily accept. But how do I
Post
accept when,
objection, please.
for instance, how do I accept? How would your point? I'm asking, how would your point uh, uh, be seen as total, absolutely correct when the same person? I don't know how many. I can't remember how many Champions League outings he's had, but he has not smelt the semi final. That is bad enough. But
Okay.
his schoolboy, his
Okay.
child,
Okay.
I would
Okay.
say his
Okay.
the baby
I know.
coach Arteta.
I know. If we have
Uh,
5 hours to discuss this, I know we are not going to have
we're saying the
end
baby
that.
coach Ateta
And
is in his final
and
now,
and
and
that
he
is
didn't get to
that.
the final. Please, 1 minute. They said he played in the final. He wanted to make it look like a thing of luck. No, this person beat Real Madrid home and away. Ateta last season beat him blue black. Beat their coach blue black. Beat Bayern Munich 3-1 this season. The other season he played Bayern Munich and gave a good account of himself. Now he has beaten PSG. This Ateta has beaten PSG. This Luis Enrique team. He has beaten virtually all the big teams. So what else do you need him to do before he
Post
becomes special?
objection.
Yes. Do you need me to continue?
No, let's have Joel.
Hello, do you need me to
Then
continue?
let's have
Yes,
Joel.
yes,
Let's have
please.
Joel.
So, what I was going to say is, I think what Mr. Martins is trying to do is to make Champions League final the standard for tactician all over the world. I'll give you coaches who never even made it to the Champions League final or play Champions League competition before they become great coaches. Sam Allardyce, Big Sam, popularly known as Big Sam. He's just known for getting teams, helping teams to avoid relegation. David Moyes is known for his helping team to avoid relegation and stay calm, maintain a relatively calm position in the league. And those are also great coaches. So I'm not. I think it will be unfair to judge Unai Emery by Champions League final. It's the same way we can only say maybe Joachim Low has won a World Cup, so he's better than Sir Alex Ferguson. So we shouldn't make one competition as the global or general standard for all these coaches. I think if like I said, Bournemouth coach Iraola, Andoni Iraola, if he's being put in the same condition and environment as Arteta, I think we'll get double the result of what Arteta is achieving right now. Just for you to know, Arteta is underperforming. Yeah, so I
Please,
think that's something we need to
that
point
is
out. And I'm
speculation.
not
It's still
discrediting Arteta's
speculation.
excellence.
Speculation. He has not
But
worked in the condition of
you've been
Arteta.
speculating
You
about
cannot
Champions
say
League
that.
final.
No, no,
Arteta's
no.
better.
That
He
is
has only made
speculation.
it to the
Pure
Champions League
speculation.
final. And do
It's
you know
rumor.
Arsene Wenger has only made it to a single Champions League final, and that was '06, and he
That's what I'm
lost.
telling you. That is what I'm
Okay.
telling you.
Okay. I'm
It
gonna
now
stop.
means that
Arteta being in the
I'm.
Champions
I'm.
League final is not a significant achievement.
it means
You
that
don't
Arteta
even. I
is
mean, who
better
was the
than
second person to enter
I'm
single
going
Arsene
to
the
Wenger. Full
moon?
stop both
stop.
of you there. Hey, hey, hey! I'm gonna stop both of you
Who was
there.
the
Can
second
you
person that
excuse
made
me?
it to the
That is
moon?
why it's called
Those data are
fantasy.
not really significant.
Excuse
But
me,
it's fine.
excuse me.
I
The
submit to the
tackle,
host.
no, there's no referee and nobody is safe, But then I wouldn't allow you to bleed to death, So I want King, to do the mediation here, just from the perspective of a Manchester United fan. If you look at it, I'm also a Man U fan. But I try to be objective as much as I can, of course.
Definitely.
But if you look at Man U fans since Ferguson era, it's been struggling until maybe recently when Carrick came and then miraculously was able to leave the team, and then they came comfortable third in the league. And I must agree that it's not easy, to really bring a team like that. For the fact that they tried 3 seasons, for me, it's not a fluke. Yeah, of course, it's not a fluke. But then we'll leave all of that to that. Now let's go to what is going to happen on Saturday. What do you expect to see? Now, I'm not asking you whether Arsenal is going to win or not win now. I'm going to ask you, and I'm asking you, how do you think Arsenal should approach the game? So I will start from the rival fan of Arsenal. Let's have what they have to say before we jump into the Arsenal fan. So let's have King. King, how do you think Arsenal should approach the game on Saturday?
All right, I think first of all, this is not the first time Arsenal and PSG are meeting in the UCL in recent times. Arsenal faced them in the semi-final last season, and they got it well. That they were beaten definitely, and to my own pleasing actually. But I think in Arsenal has learned a lot from their past mistakes, and some of the things we see now is that they don't consider as easily as they did last season. Now, I think currently now in the UCL, Gyökeres is the highest scorer for Arsenal. I think, yeah, and when we look at the whole Arsenal team as a whole, I think they stand a better chance compared to last season, but also PSG has like a superb attack. If you look at the game of PSG against Bayern Munich, you will see you will see that that was a master class, definitely. And you can't compare that match looking at Arsenal's outlook against Bayern Munich actually, where they have a lot of injuries and the likes. But I think with the current form of Arsenal, if they would I think their only edge against PSG is their normal set pieces. I don't think they stand a chance really, and I think if they want to have an edge earlier on, because PSG definitely concede also against Bayern, but they were able to recover fast and they will also score more goals. So I think for me, I think Arsenal can only improve on their set pieces, and they have a solid defense definitely, and just work on it on some things. But I think PSG will still have a good outing against Arsenal any day. The last two outings against Arsenal proves it for me.
Okay. So and then so that was a good one from you, King. Thank you for that perspective. I know you are Emmanuel enthusiast, and I don't know why Emmanuel fan is supporting. What do you call it? The
PSG,
PSG. That's French league.
you
So,
think I
but
should be on
then
the side of PSG?
yeah, but sometimes the rivalry is unexplainable. The way people do their
We need
rivalry.
It
some
is not
tears
So,
from
rivalry. It
Arsenal.
is hatred.
They're already
It is
celebrating
well,
the
self-loathing.
trophy.
I
Normally,
don't
it's
I
called.
disagree. It's a
It's
trend.
called. It's not.
For
I
example,
think
for
it's
example,
self-loathing.
I
Listen,
supported. Let me
why is
tell
it
you. Let me tell you.
self-loathing? Wait.
Let me tell
Let
you.
me
So,
tell you why it's self-loathing. Wait.
Martins,
As
wait.
an Arsenal fan,
Let me tell
as
you.
an Arsenal
Let me tell
fan,
you. It is not
I
a trend. It's not
supported
necessary.
all English Premier League sides playing every other uh, uh, team elsewhere.
It's
As
your.
an Arsenal fan,
It's
Just
your
and
because your
most
choice.
team had no
Arsenal fans,
competition for it in those years.
listen, and
Martins.
most Arsenal fans, listen,
You
and
could
most
only
Arsenal
derive
fans
joy
told
by attaching yourself to those teams during those times.
Martins is your choice to support whichever club you want to support. For example, why are
okay,
we not supporting Liverpool team or uh, a Man City? The reason is simple. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. If Man City should win
okay.
again, the dominance is becoming too much. It's becoming too embarrassing. If Liverpool should win, Liverpool is going to almost have the same record like Man U. So It's not a trend, it's just preference. Another time, maybe when I have surpassed record, I can support Liverpool. So that's just my own perspective about all this support. So,
Okay, okay.
but I
Let
allow
me
you to have your take.
let me say something about what they've been saying. About Arsenal winning. Arsenal's performance. Did you just hear him mention set piece? Let him, with the effort, with the possibility of the internet, can he find out how many set piece goals Arsenal scored in Europe? Arsenal has conceded the least amount of goals in Europe, I think 6 or 7, and has scored, I think, number 2 or number 3 of the goal chart. I'm not so sure. I can't remember anymore. But we're talking about a team that demolished Atletico Madrid in the first leg 4-0. First one, beat Inter Milan, is it 2-0? Beat, I mean, demolished teams, Bayern Munich, and then some of these rival fans think that PSG will kill off Arsenal. Arsenal that has kept uh, 9 clean sheets from 14.
Mhm.
I mean, go and check it. The goals conceded by some of the people that other fans rate in the Champions League. I mean, some of these things. I think that when statistics, when there are metrics and statistics for Arsenal, people overlook these metrics and statistics. When they are against Arsenal, they project that. That is exactly that, and this is exactly what I say about hatred. It's no more analysis, because if you are analyzing something, you pick on what is real, what is
No,
pragmatic, what is graspable.
no, I
But
see.
when you are
I
analyzing, and when you
no,
are
I see.
analyzing,
I
okay,
see.
did you
Insist.
mention, did
I see. Insist.
I
It's not
hope,
a
no,
trend.
no,
It's just
it cannot,
no. It's
it is not
football
rivalry,
rivalry.
okay.
It is.
Right, no,
For
rivalry
example,
means,
will
okay,
you tell me
okay,
that people who feel
I'm
Ronaldo
asking,
is the
do you
best
have to
player,
lie?
it's
Do
Ronaldo.
you
It's not about lying.
wait? The
It's called
question
bragging.
is, okay, I'm now saying, do you have to lie with statistics
No, it's
for
about
you,
bragging.
for rivalry to
You
be sweet?
you
The question is
you can manipulate statistics. You know,
statistics.
yeah,
Okay,
you can
that too
manipulate
is rivalry.
statistics to favor you. For example, I will say I'll give you this example. I bought 2 oranges in the store. All right, now and Joel bought only 1 orange. Now, if I bring those 2 oranges home, my kids should feel that I have more oranges. But if Joel now is able to convince them that I don't mind him, he bought 2 oranges because those two are bad, you know, or the money for the two is not worth a single one that I bought. And he's able to convince them. So he's manipulating statistics. He has a fact,
No,
the buying of the orange,
I
but he
think,
has been able
I
to
think that,
manipulate. But let's leave that.
no, no,
Let's
no,
leave
no.
that. Let's leave that. Now tell me categorically, how do you think your team should approach the game? I want to see your face. Can you adjust your
I have
camera?
said,
Mhm.
time and time again that Arsenal is not scared of PSG. Quickly, if you have, once we leave this place, please check the semi-final, the first and second legs. Check how many times Arsenal hit the bar against them. Check how many saves Donnarumma made against Arsenal. You would realize that Arsenal, the same Arsenal, this current Arsenal, you would say was even better than the last one, the last season Arsenal. So are we saying that? Are we saying that Arsenal will not replicate that kind of performance over the 2 legs? I mean, if anybody is telling me that, that is a joke. And if you are talking about set piece, Arsenal didn't employ set piece in Champions League as much as they did in EPL, only because EPL teams come to play, others come to sit back to absorb Arsenal. You understand? So Arsenal, what Arsenal did with teams who were sitting back was set piece. You understand? Because they were always committing corner. I mean, they were almost would play the ball to the corner because they were pushed back. You know, each time. But in the UCL, it's not gonna be a different. It's gonna be a totally different thing. And I would say that Arsenal has a structure, a defensive structure that can nullify um PSG's attack. The only worry I
Don't
have
forget you are
is
dealing
the
with the
right side.
most offensive team.
Listen, the only side I worry about is the right side, Varaskelia. You know,
Mhm.
where Timber, Urian Timber would have been able to go toe to toe with Varaskelia. That is the problem I have. If you're talking about Hinkapi or Calafiori can handle Due or what's the name of the other attacker thereabout. But I know that they will pin Arsenal back a lot. And if Arsenal will hold them and play on the counter, especially with the pace of Martinelli, if Ateta starts him, PSG will be in trouble because
All right.
they might not be able to cope with Bukayo Saka and I mean the pace of Bukayo Saka and
Okay.
what's the name and Martinelli, and then of course the dangerous Izzy will play alongside. I see a situation where Declan Rice plays the defensive midfield role and flanked with what's his name? This by his side, Eze and Martin Odegaard. In that midfield, and basically that Odegaard is a press resistant player that could actually help maintain that balance in midfield, where as Arsenal midfielders can go toe to toe with very brilliant Vitinha and Ruiz. So I want a situation if Arsenal will be able to curtail the influence of Vitinha by the exploits and the doggedness of Declan Rice, Arsenal would have enough resources to win the game. I believe.
Oh, okay. So, Joel, in 1 minute, can you tell us what you feel the situation
Yeah,
should
I'm not
be?
sure I heard. From everything Mr. Martins has said, I'm not sure I heard anything about Arsenal setup. But I'll go straight to my own. I think it's not a matter of Arsenal setting up to win. It's Arsenal setting up to reduce the goal from 5 to say 2 or 3 is how they should set up. So, and I'm not going to advise Arsenal to pack the bus or do anything. What I can suggest to Arsenal is there's this negative football France employed in 2018 to win the was it 2018 to win the World Cup? Yes. It was such a brilliant negative football. If Arsenal can also approach that, where they have their defenders in place, only the midfielders chasing, and just one striker is the same style Mourinho actually used to win the treble. So maybe they can do that in order to reduce the number of goals they are going to concede in the Champions League final. But I mean, without stress, I see PSG using to score at least 5 goals, honestly. And that's not even about tactics. It's about the setup of PSG. They are so dominant. They are so fierce. They have the flair. They have the pace, and their wingers are so sharp. I mean, I look at it from this perspective. You might cut yourself with a
Is it the
blade.
same PSG
Blades are
team
sharp.
that Chelsea beat 3-0? Is it the same PSG
I'm
or
coming to
which
that.
other
I'm coming to
PSG?
that. Their
Okay.
wingers are so sharp that you might cut yourself with a blade and bleed blood. But if you also cut yourself with these PSG wingers, blood is still going to come out. That's how sharp they are. and that's how penetrating they can be. And Mr. Martins earlier mentioned that Arsenal don't use set piece in the Champions League. I've never seen in the history of. I mean, I'm closer to 50 years old than I'm closer to 0 years old. I have never seen in my years of watching football where a set piece coach is standing alongside the coach in the sidelines. And that's something we've seen this season with the Arsenal coach, where they are set piece even coach, a set piece coach, not the main coach himself, stands up and starts acting bossy,
This is a
telling the
fan
coach what to
whose player, whose
do.
best defender
Please,
scored
please, Mr. Martins, let me land. Think Prince.
two set piece goals.
Please,
Oh.
Prince, the
They
fan
are
will
second
deceive
on
and
the
run.
on
But
the
this
they are
season,
second.
have you seen? I mean, in your years of
They are,
watching
see,
football, have you
bro,
seen? I
they are
mean, I
second
watched
on the law.
Guardiola. I don't see a set piece coach standing beside him to say, I would have said this in my mother's tongue, but I'll just
But your
let that slide
team
to say.
is second
I
on the
think it
log.
shows a lot about their
Set piece
mentality
goals.
actually.
Your
Okay.
Sorry,
team
yeah,
is second on
it
the log.
says a lot about their setup. But he
See,
did say they
see,
don't use
your
set
team
piece, but
is
I've never
second
seen.
on the
I
log.
don't even
Tell
know
him
Liverpool set
the
piece.
team is second on the log.
But your strategy is built around set pieces.
Okay.
And like I mentioned, is about how many they will concede, not how Arsenal is going to win. I don't see
but
Arsenal winning. I'll be frank with that.
but Joel, this is what I would say to you. The same PSG that we so much hype today. We will say they lost 3-0 to Chelsea, and they will say, well,
Chelsea,
that
In a
was the
precision
conference
tournament,
Chelsea
league.
of all
please
teams.
let me know.
You know,
Is it a
they'll say
precision
that,
tournament or a real
and
tournament?
well, maybe under Maresca, right?
Is
And
it a
then,
preseason tournament they lost to Chelsea
well,
or a real
See,
it
tournament?
was
wait,
a
oh,
tournament.
wait.
It was a
Champions League,
tournament.
Aston Villa
Was
beats
it a
them. See,
preseason
wait.
tournament or
Tell
a
him,
normal
tell him,
tournament?
wait. Aston Villa
Well,
beats them.
it
The team that I beat in Portugal. What's the name of that team that I beat in Portugal? The team that this person came from, Victor Gyökeres, beat the
Is it
same
Sporting?
PSG. Sporting, yes, Sporting beat the same PSG this season. So you guys should keep hyping them. But I love it really because
I think
it should
just
make
like
you
uh,
Joel
sleep
uh,
said,
at least.
it's
um
not a matter of
Please,
it's
you
not a
would not.
matter of
Please,
if
please,
Arsenal
please. I'm
stands no
waiting.
chance.
You
I
know
mean,
what?
if they add
What
points
what
to
I
Alo,
PSG
Arsenal stands no chance.
listen,
But
listen,
my
listen.
host, what I would like to
I
talk
would
about is
one minute. Please do not say that
okay.
when Arsenal knocks them out and gets the UCL. Don't say that Arsenal was lucky. Please avoid the use of the word luck next time we meet on this show because you didn't factor that there was going to be luck. You said it is a matter of the number of goals rather than whether you have concluded that Arsenal would lose, and it is fine. I'm
Right,
okay
I
with that.
affirm to that. I affirm to that. Yes.
Yeah, so that tomorrow you don't mention luck. Please don't mention luck.
Martins
I would not.
on Friday. I'm gonna bring
I would
maybe
not like the word
one of
luck
you
to come
back to
into
this
the
show
picture at all
by 3
because there
p.m.
shouldn't be luck.
EST. I'm gonna bring one of you or two of you back on this show with other fans who are also guests. But
Yeah.
Martins, I'm worried about something. It may sound so mythical to you,
Yeah.
but this is what people say. They say Benfica was unbeaten, but Porto won the league. Al Hilal in Saudi League was unbeaten, but Al Nasser won the league.
Okay.
Bayer Leverkusen was unbeaten in Europa last season, but they lost the final. Manchester
Mm-hmm.
United was unbeatable in Europa last season, but lost
Mm-hmm.
the final. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the person didn't mention name. Say a certain team is unbeaten in the UEFA Champions League. What are you
Mm-hmm.
thinking? Well, I want to leave
I'm
it on,
thinking.
at
I'm
that note.
thinking quickly. I'm thinking that one team will break the circle, and
Okay.
if you mention
I
the
think
team
that's a
who is
good
capable of
rule of
breaking
thumb.
the circle, it is decidedly Arsenal.
All right. So okay. So your final thoughts. I have a few comments on the chat. I have Solomon Olade in there. And then I think the same person repeated the chat saying that the best talent is what is keeping the Premiership going. Well, that's a topic for another day. And then next week we're gonna do the analysis and use statistics and see how far that can go. But before I let you go, I want to give you the opportunity to give your final thought on the expectation for the Premiership clubs next season, because that's our focus. The Premiership. Do you think the dominance will continue into next season? Now, this is not about Arsenal now. It's about the Premiership club. Of course, Arsenal was instrumental to giving the Premiership team six teams for the Champions League next season. You can't take that away from them. Aston Villa also has contributed some, right? Now, what should we expect from them next season? Do you think the dominance will continue? Your final thoughts, Martins.
Oh, well, it depends on the sort of quality. I mean, addition in the team. I mean,
Mhm.
especially those playing in Europe. It would depend a lot of it would depend on a lot of things. Iraola, Andoni Iraola, for instance, might be leaving Bournemouth. I think he announced his departure. He will be departing after. I mean, he will be departing in the summer. So one is curious as to uh, think of another coach who can fit in seamlessly and who can take Bournemouth to the next stage. If you are thinking of Anslot, maybe Liverpool will wake up next season. Who knows? They've got a very good squad, and they were nobody gave Arsenal any chance. They felt that it was going to be Liverpool that would you know uh, win the EPL, because they spent up to 450 million, and they've got players, very unbelievable sort of signings that they did with
I
Isak
think I
and
think Chelsea signed more
some other.
players than Liverpool.
Yeah, but we're talking about quality. They signed more
Okay.
quality players than Chelsea. Chelsea went for numbers rather than quality, really. So
Mhm.
the quality didn't translate to anything substantial for Liverpool. So I hope
Mhm.
that next season they would give some clubs a run for their money. Arsenal, Manchester City. If you look at squad quality, I mean, they are up there, even
Mhm.
better than Arsenal. So but the thing is, the change in the dugout might really affect their possibilities to, I mean, to hit it, immediately. And so
Maresca is the one coming,
I'm also thinking of I'm thinking of okay, Chelsea is not playing in I mean Europe. That affords them the opportunity to have one match per month or thereabout, like Manchester United had, which got them lucky. It fetched a lot of good fortunes for them, because if they were playing three games a week like Arsenal and other teams, they would be in trouble. Now manage 3-4 games a week, and we'll see how what difference Michael Carrick will make in the team. It's fine to say that Michael Carrick in his honeymoon season came third. We'll see him in full bloom, where every team begins on a clean slate. That is when we will now see his talent. This one I cannot judge him until next season, basically. So for these teams and for Unai Emery, I mean Unai Emery, for me, has this unpredictability about him. His team can start very poor and pick up somewhere, and then you can think of some of the very lopsided kind of performances that you can get in the Premier League and in the
Okay.
Champions League with these teams. So
Okay.
it's not there's no straightforward, no straight jacket analysis. You cannot think of, but a team that I think will improve on their standing season is Arsenal. Arsenal will buy more players because they have over 770 million, and they are going to spend. I think I learned that they're going to spend 300 million again in the summer, and that is massive.
All right.
That's
Okay.
really massive. And
Okay.
you know that with that they are going to dominate. That is it. That's the
Okay.
simple truth.
Okay. So, Joel, let's have you.
Interestingly, I think I will agree with some of the comments Mr. Martins has made. I see Liverpool improving. I see Manchester United improving and getting it back to the glory Manchester United as we do know. And for next season, I'll tip Liverpool to win the league. And I don't see Arsenal in that. I mean, this victory will get into their head so much that they will underperform next season because the other teams will be super ready and geared for the league. It's a very competitive league as we have established in the earlier part of this conversation. Then Manchester City, I honestly can't say much because Maresca is coming. I mean, he's a new coach that is leaving, and let's see. I mean, let's look at what Manchester City have for us. Then the same goes for Chelsea also. A new coach is coming on board. I really don't like to write off or give comments about new coaches because we need to give them time to actually show what they can do this season. But the expectations for those two teams is really, really high. So for me, my top four prediction for next season would be Liverpool, Manchester United, um, Arsenal. Yeah. Then maybe Chelsea or City as number four. But one team that I think would see significant improvement from is Tottenham. Yeah, they really underperformed this season. So I'm looking at Tottenham coming back to the rightful place next season also. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, okay. I think that was a kind comment by you, and I think well, I will agree with you to some extent, but Man U is going to win the league next season, so don't worry about that. And I'm sure that King agree with me. What do you think, King? Your final thoughts?
You can be optimistic. It's brilliant. I love optimism.
I think it's impressive what Carrick has done with the mess Amorim made, and it's been out of 17 matches, we only had two losses, and so I
Mm.
think it's very impressive. And
And he,
with
he, he,
the
he he made sure he defeated all the top four all the time.
I'm serious. That's
Yeah,
that's
and that's
that's
no fluke,
that's uh,
including this
that's top
so-called
tier
Arsenal,
for real. Oh.
Liverpool,
Arsenal,
Man
I will
City.
see him
man,
defeat me next season. I
the
will
stellar goals
immediately,
from
you know
Dogo and
what? Immediately we
Konya.
play. You are the
He he
person I'm going to
he
first tag.
he, he
I hope
defeated
you know that
he
No problem.
defeated
with
you.
this thing you
He
are going to.
defeated you this season.
Immediately Arsenal
So
play. Wait, listen. Immediately Arsenal play Manchester United. Please
mm,
share your Facebook stuff because immediately we beat you next year. I will remind you of today. Basically, I'm
But if
very
it's the
good at
other way
history.
around, I'm coming for you.
Please remind, yes, do same,
I'm
please.
coming for you.
Because one thing that I know is that Arsenal will revenge. They like vengeance. They are
And I think
you
Carrick
know
is up to
they've been doing. See, I'm not talking about Arsene Wenger
it's
team. I'm
okay,
talking about
okay,
waiting
okay, okay,
1 minute.
okay.
Wait 1 minute. I'm
Okay.
talking about I'm not talking about Arsene Wenger team. I'm talking about Arteta's team. They hate teams that beat them once or twice. They like retaliation, and they have proven this. It is our history now. Our recent history is a history of retaliation. I hope you know that. So be careful what you say.
all
Okay.
right. I wonder why there was no retaliation in any of the leagues, any of the legs with PSG
They
last
there
season.
have been
But
there have
what
been
aside,
Aston Villa beat Arsenal 2-1 in the second leg 4-1.
I
Let me
I
tell
just
you.
gave you an
Listen,
example. That aside, I
Okay.
think
Manchester City.
based on
Manchester
what
City beat
Dr.
Arsenal
James said,
2-1. They
I
they
think
they
my only
Manchester City
worry
Arsenal
with
beat them
Manchester
5-1.
United,
Ateta's Arsenal. beat them 5-1. Manchester City. Have you forgotten? Last season,
All right, all right,
the Ethan
all right.
Waneri and these boys they scored. So I'm telling you that we have mastered the art of vengeance. Manchester United should watch their back because my boys have something to pick. They have a bone to pick with them next season.
I
So you
think the
guys should be
only worries
careful
I
of what.
have with Manchester United, both in the EPL and in Europe next season, is the exit of Casemiro, which will, some people speculate that it will make the midfield more vulnerable. Uh, but I believe Carrick is up to the task, and with the recent outlook of the club, you will see that they are making efforts just to replace the loophole that will be left behind. And I think Ugarte also will be leaving at the end of the season. Not sure about that, but I
Yeah,
think
I heard
Manchester United
Tonali is
have the
coming to Man U. Tonali is coming. You know, Tonali is
Ederson is
coming.
coming. I think Fabrizio
Tonali will
posted
not come. Arsenal want to
today.
buy Tonali. If you are
Okay.
not aware,
Fabrizio posted
You
today
you
that
usually you
Ederson has
usually don't.
stopped all talks with other clubs, and Atlanta are fully locked in with Manchester United to secure the deal.
So you
So
can
I think
imagine. So we'll
we
see.
have
We
a
see.
lot.
Yeah, we'll see the
We have a
influence.
lot of
So
Tonali is an Arsenal player. Arsenal is signing
well,
Morgan Rogers. I hope you know
well.
Morgan Rogers
So
from Aston Villa.
so
You guys should sit down. Hmm. I never see
whatever it
anything.
is, I'd like to say you thank you guys for showing up on a very short notice today, and then you made
Pleasure
the
to
the 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 program worthwhile. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you, Joel, Martins, King Priest. And I'm sure I will let you know again when we you'll be invited. But you've really tackled one another, and I like the way that you kept it respectful, and then. It's just an opinion. It's just an opinion we are expressing on this show. And then you two, you can be here to tackle one another. So we'll be here again on Friday. So if you want to join us, we welcome you. But whenever you are watching this, ensure that you hit the subscribe button, and then you follow all our social media channels. And then my name is James, and I will see you some other time. Thank you. Are you still there?